What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we're going to talk about the Gladiator and see if this is a character that you should try to unlock right away or not. Gladiator is part of the Annihilator's team. They were designed to be the arena meta, so we're going to take a look at what he brings to the table and if he's able to overshadow any of the characters that dominate the arena right now. We are talking about Old Man Logan, Mephisto, Super Skrull, Black Knight and Apocalypse, and see at the end of the video if this is going to be the case. So make sure you stay tuned until the end of the video to see which characters he overshadows and which one he doesn't. Gladiator is part also of the MSF Meta 3.0, and this means that his stats are 100% higher than anything we had before. If you want a point of reference, this means that Gladiator at 4 stars will have pretty much the same stats as Captain Britain at 7 yellow stars. So the difference is just massive. But we're going to break down all the information that you need to know in order for you to prepare for this new meta, and also what you need to be careful with, right? Because this difference in stats is going to be huge. So as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button like a boss. Okay, so let's take a look at his stats on msf.gg, and you can see that his health, armor, damage, focus and resistance is just massive. Once again, it kind of matches 3 yellow stars, 4 yellow stars. It matches the 7 stars of characters from the previous meta that ended with Captain Britain. In terms of resistance, this is going to impact right away your experience, and you need to watch out for this. If you don't remember the meta where Darkhold and Bifrost dominated, this means that it's going to be very difficult for you to land negative effects on your enemies. Defense down, slow, heal block, stuns will be very hard to land, and this means it will be very hard to control these characters. On top of that, they also have massive amounts of armor, and this means that the characters from the previous meta without piercing damage will not be able to do any damage to these new characters. So as an example, this is a fictitious example, but let's imagine that we have Kestrel with 200,000 damage and no piercing damage because we are using the basic and the special, right? So the base damage of Kestrel 200,000 plus multiplier of 200, this means damage output of 400,000, and Gladiator with 260,000 armor plus defense up, which is another 50% armor. This means that when Kestrel attacks Gladiator, she is not going to be able to do any damage because the amount of armor he has, it's higher than the amount of damage output that Kestrel does. This is just a fictitious example. Once again, the stats don't match and the multipliers don't match, so keep that in mind. Now, on the other hand, Gladiator, when he's attacking characters from the old meta, because his base damage is so high, he's going to be able to bypass any kind of armor that the enemies from the old meta have. So if he's attacking a character with like 50,000 armor, it's like he has piercing damage, right? Because his base damage is so damn high that the amount of armor the enemies have is going to be pretty much meaningless. Finally, we have a situation of the health and also how it relates with barrier and armor. The more health you have, the more barrier you have, and also with additional armor, that means if you do 0 damage to the enemies, that means that you cannot remove the barrier, and that means that you cannot do damage to them as well, right? So you are probably going to fall into situations where you are going to time out against these characters because, once again, their health is so high, the armor is so high, the resistance is so high that you're not going to be able to control them, and you cannot do any damage to them as well. So that's when it comes in terms of stats of Gladiator. Once again, a 3 stars Gladiator or 4 stars matches the 7 stars from the previous meta. Now, in terms of his abilities, with his basic, he's going to attack multiple targets for a very good multiplier, and is going to also apply offense down to each of those targets if he's above 50%. This means offense down means your characters will do 50% less damage making it even harder to kill Gladiator. If Gladiator is below 50% health, for each of the attacks he's going to get 25% drain, and this means he's going to bounce back to full health if you let him to use the basic multiple times. Now, taking a look at the special, this special ability is multiple abilities in just one, where Gladiator is going to provide offensive abilities and support abilities as well. First off, he's going to clear all the barrier from all enemies. As barrier becomes more common, this is going to count like you are doing damage to the characters, right? Because you are removing the barrier, so it kind of counts as damage. Then he's going to flip all negative effects into positive effects on himself and Annihilator allies. This is going to be massive. Any negative effects that you finally are able to land, they're going to be flipped. Bleeds, defense down, slows are going to convert. And the fact that it's all negative effects is really, really massive. Gladiator then is going to attack all enemies. And if you have Gladiator with Fortifier as a weight, this is going to provide even more bounce back capabilities to him because of the drain mechanics that Fortifier provides. If this character is above 50% health, he's going to clear all positive effects from the enemies as long as they don't have Safeguard. And the Gladiator is going to apply Safeguard for himself and all Annihilator allies. If Gladiator is below 50% health, he's also going to apply immunity and regeneration for himself and all Annihilator allies. So once again, bouncing back one way or another. The attack is unavoidable, cannot be blocked, and cannot be counter-attacked, and this is why Fortified as a weight would be a good consideration, because you'll always be able to do the drain on your enemies. Let's take a look now at the ultimate. This is a very powerful ability. So Gladiator is going to gain taunt and immunity if he's above 50% health, and is going to reduce the speed bar of the primary target by 50%. If he's below 50% health, he's going to gain a 30% barrier. Once again, it counts for 30% of his max health. And the Gladiator is also going to generate 3 ultimate energy. This is a new mechanic that Scopely developed to don't make characters super powerful, because in the past energy would affect the special and the ultimate, but now certain abilities only give energy to the special or to the ultimate or to both. So it really depends, but it was a way for Scopely to don't make the characters like super overpowered, because otherwise Gladiator would spam his special and that would be way too strong. On top of that, Gladiator is also going to heal up by 50% and heal Annihilator allies for 40%, which is a massive bounce back with this character. Single target damage and crit chance. Watch out, because this crit chance might be a bait for you to waste in Raider as a weight. Like, this character is not a Raider, so don't do that. It's just a waste of your as a weight. Focus on Healer as a weight or Fortified as a weight for a Gladiator, as those were going to be the best abilities for him. Now, finally, we are going to take a look at his passive, and this is where he's really going to shine compared to other characters, and this is why also he's going to dominate the arena meta together with the Annihilators. So on spawn, right away, he gets taunt, immunity, safeguard, and defense up for 2 turns. This defense up is for himself and the Annihilator allies. This is going to make Gladiator better than Black Knight right away, because the taunt of Black Knight, you can remove it with characters with high focus like Spider-Man Big Time or Spider-Man 2099 and a few others. Also, Gladiator is also going to overshadow the Old Man Logan because he has Safeguard, Taunt and Immunity. That means you cannot stun this guy, you cannot remove his taunt like you do with Old Man Logan against Black Knight. So Black Knight absolutely overshadow, and Old Man Logan very compromised in terms of his abilities. On any turn, Gladiator is also going to heal up for 5% if he's below 50% health, and this is going to affect characters like minions from your enemies, your characters. Like anytime your character has a turn, is going to heal up for 5%. And when this character is below 30% health, he's going to gain 2 regeneration, and if he has taunt, he's going to gain stealth. Now, I'm not sure if he will gain stealth even if he has safeguard, but this is something that we're going to test out on Tuesday. As soon as this character becomes available, we'll be testing him out on Twitch and on YouTube, so make sure you tune in to see if this ability is going to work properly or not. If this character has 2 or more Annihilator allies while this character is above 50% health, this character and his allies, Annihilators or not, cannot gain vulnerability and exposed. This is going to be very, very powerful, because if you have Gladiator and your enemies do not have Gladiator, this means that your striker characters will not be able to use their striker ISO 8 abilities. Very, very powerful for against characters like Apocalypse, against characters like Super Scroll. You don't apply the exposes, you don't apply the vulnerabilities, you cannot do the striker ISO 8, which gives offense up to Apocalypse. So this is going to be extremely important, and as you guys can see, this works in any game mode. So all of these characters that we mentioned are going to be completely overshadowed. And finally, in Arena, this character and all Annihilator allies cannot gain slow, and on top of that, if this character health is above 50%, enemies cannot feel or reduce speed bar for themselves, allies, or enemies. So this is going to be very, very important, because this ability is pretty much what Mephisto has. And this is very important, because if you don't have Mephisto, you are still going to be able to be competitive, because you're going to be able to stop all Old Man Logans, all Black Knights, all Super Scrolls, and all Apocalypses. Is he going to also be able to stop Mephisto? We're going to try that out. Once again, make sure you tune in on Tuesday. We're going to try with Mephisto and without Mephisto and with Gladiator to see if I can still be competitive against teams that already have Mephisto. So overall, Gladiator is going to be very, very powerful. And so what's the answer? Is he going to be able to overshadow all those characters? Yes. So Black Knight, Old Man Logan, Super Scroll, and Apocalypse, at least those 4 that are part of the Arena meta, are going to be completely shut down by Gladiator, not only in Arena, but also outside of Arena as well, as you guys saw. So is this a character that you should try to obtain right away if you can? Well, the answer is pretty much yes. The people that have Gladiator and the people that will not have Gladiator, it will be a huge difference, right? Because you're not going to be able to bypass his taunt. He's going to do insane amount of damage to your characters. He's going to bounce back all the time, and you probably are going to time out in Arena just because you cannot overcome him. So in my opinion, if you can afford it, this is definitely a character that you should try to obtain right away. And if you don't have Mephisto, he should allow you at least to be at least a little bit more competitive. But once again, make sure you tune in on Tuesday when we'll be testing him out and see if he alone can stop all the characters and all the Mephistos in the Arena meta. So that's going to be the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you did, make sure you smash that like button. And if you found the information helpful, make sure you share it to your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content. And I'll catch you guys later.